I came into this country, spring of 1904, lonely Jew from Warsaw, never here before. Sailed into the harbor on the 17th of May. I disembarked with other Poles, bound for the USA. They looked me up, they looked me down. Much to my surprise, they asked about my family. They checked my mouth, my eyes, put a chalk mark on my coat, my papers stamped in clear. Shuffled through an exit, and I suddenly was here in America. Your torchlight shines far in America, like a shining distant star. Here is where I've come to take my place.
You're welcome around the fire. Come on, we're making room. Take a seat beside me. Hope you have a tune. We're passing round the bottle and this battered old guitar. Everything sounds sweeter beneath this prairie star. It's a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye, my soul is turning in your hand, in your hand.
Are you going away with no word of farewell?
Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my reasons of plenty.
You have reasons plenty for going.
But for now, we're going to finish with a song which I know goes back to all our lives, and at a certain point, I'm sure you got up to mischief with this song either on your lips or in your hearts. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine. Now, when you gonna let me get sober? Let me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. Rambling around this dirty old town, singing for nickels and dimes. Time's getting tough, I ain't got enough to buy a little bottle of wine. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine. When you gonna let me get sober?
In early August 2021, John McCutcheon reached out to his longtime buddy, Tom Paxton, with a simple idea. Why not use Zoom, a newly essential tool in those pandemic days to connect, ease the isolation of COVID, and maybe write a few songs together. That following Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, they logged in. One Monday led to the next, and soon the weekly sessions became a ritual. More than 4 years later, they're still at it. Now comes Together Again, another 14 songs from two of the most revered songwriters in acoustic music. This time, things are a little different. At 88, Paxton has retired from the road, and McCutcheon, a spry 73-year-old, has scaled back his touring schedule, but both remain at the height of their creative power. It's a rare and welcoming thing to find them together again. Please welcome folk legends Tom Paxton and John McCutcheon to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, guys.
Hi there.
Hey, Ray.
Happy holidays. You guys are so great together, man. You should have thought about this 30, 40 years ago.
We could have with time to spare.
Exactly. Gosh, these albums are incredible, man. You know, I love the last one, but this one's just as good, you know?
Thank you.
Here's what I said about it. Here's my take. I said, listening to Together Again is like opening your favorite book. Each song is a new chapter. Each track an incredible story that lingers long after the final note. And I gave it 5 stars, just like the first
Oh,
one.
thank you very much.
Thank you. You know, you do these things and you send them out there and you're so inside it,
Right.
you don't know. And especially these days when fewer and fewer people are actually digesting music in album form.
That's true.
And we still think in those terms. You know, it's something that tells a story greater than the sum of its parts.
Folk music, man, that's Americana. I mean, I grew up with it in school, since elementary school. My favorite song, Puff the Magic Dragon, when I was a kid, I mean, Burl Eyes, you guys, I just wish more and more people, younger people, would, get a chance to listen to it.
Me too.
I'm going to go over a few tracks like I always do. Okay. What one track really stood out because I know you guys love baseball. Um, there's actually two talking about baseball, and the one that really took me was "Famous for a Day," which is a pirate. I think his name is Ron Desaya. Is that how you pronounce his name?
That's good enough for here.
Okay. It's your own kind of, I don't know, Field of Dreams kind of story about a guy. Who's actually he's living as well. He's 93, correct? Did you guys actually
Yeah.
get a hold of him?
Oh yeah, yeah. When we were writing the song, I thought, well, if this guy's still alive, we should let him know we're doing this and make sure it's okay. And he was thrilled, and like the song says, he had this one day back in May of 1952.
Right.
He struck out 20. He actually struck out 28 batters because the 27th victim. Your readers may not, your listeners may not know this. If it's a pass ball to the catcher on strike number 3, the runner can take off for first base, and if the catcher doesn't throw the ball in time to the first baseman, it's safe. So he struck out 27, and he still had one to go. He went, oh hell, struck out the 28th. So it was, and so I get in contact with him, and I realized this is what his life is like now. He had this one day. They brought him up to the majors. He was a minor league player,
Mm-hmm.
and then went off to Korea. Came back. His shoulder was gone, but he has this one day, and out of the blue, when he's 93, somebody calls him up and says, "Hey, I read about what you did in 1952," and there's a lot of that on this album of looking back. Tom's incredible rendition of the Rebel Gal,
Right.
and I ran away with a circus. All of a sudden, you realize 3/4 of the way through the song, oh, this is in the 1940s. So I'm glad. I'm really glad you like the song. I think.
Well, I love every song, man. Any song that is like a story is what I like. You know, even some of the silly Johnny Cash songs. My name is Sue. How do you do? I loved it.
Well, that was Tom's buddy Shel Silverstein who actually wrote that.
Is that right? Really? Huh. I bet Tom had a lot of famous buddies in the past. I know.
You should, like some of my opening acts.
Your opening acts, like who?
Well, John Denver,
Wow.
George Carlin, Billy Crystal, and many, many more.
Hmm. And you did a lot of those shows probably at the Cellar Door in D.C.
Yep.
Yep. And you did the Birchmere, Georgetown, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opening for me, it turns out, was a route to the stars.
Yeah.
Somehow I decided I better start opening my own shows.
Right.
Can I open for you, Tom? Oh, wait.
Did he ever open for you? Did John ever open for you?
No,
No,
No, we've done shows together, but
right. I
that's
remember the
that's why I'm not a star, Tom.
remember the big rock stars like the Rolling Stones. You know, if they had an act that you know did better than they did on the opening on the tour, they would get rid of them quick.
Well, I remember my the guy who's played drums with us on these albums was on the road and went to a little club um, in Kansas City, I think it was, and it was Springsteen
Hmm.
early on, and his opening act was Bob Marley's first show
Oh my gosh.
in the United States. And being a drummer, he said, I had to leave after the opening act just because my mind was so blown by what I
Hmm.
was seeing.
I liked it back then. They used to mix acts together. You know that you would have a folk act and they have an R&B act and then a rock act all on the same bill. You know, Bill Graham did that a lot.
Yeah.
That was great, and the tickets were cheap too. Some of the other songs, every Monday or at 2. Talk about that one.
well, it just happened that we decided on Monday afternoons at 2 o'clock would be our time,
That's funny.
and we still do it that way. And it suddenly seemed like a good idea for a song.
You guys
Um,
could make a song out of anything.
Pretty much. I think any songwriter can make a song out of anything.
But there's a lot of songwriters that can't. You know, they hit a block, kind of like a writer's block, and they need inspiration. But you guys don't. You just,
I don't believe in writer's blocks.
I
yeah,
don't either.
I
I
don't
don't either.
either.
I don't know how they happen. I know they do happen. I've
Hmm.
just never, on our first album, there is a song that we wrote about not having any ideas. Same old
Yeah,
crap tonight.
right. I remember that.
But when you just have faith that something is going to arise out of the primordial ashes of your Zoom call, um, and you want to hang out. I don't want to hang up early on 5 minutes in and say, oh, okay, I guess we don't have anything together today. Bye.
Right.
It's too much fun to be together.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
actually give away a trick of the trade here for any songwriters who are
Okay.
listening and find it difficult to get ideas. Um, the trick is to start writing anyhow,
Hmm.
anything, because they have found out scientifically that there is a little corner of the brain that is stimulated by the act of moving a pen or a pencil on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It stimulates the part of the brain that comes up with ideas. So start right.
Yeah, as long as you get that hand moving and
That's it.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
It really
put it.
does.
Yeah.
If you sit around thinking and thinking, nothing's going to happen. Yep. One of my favorite lines or titles is "Cheat while I'm eating."
Yeah, we want every now and again. I remember when we were doing the sessions that we didn't know we were going to make an album. Um, we would, we'd say, "Oh gosh, let's write a cowboy song,"
Hmm.
and we'd write something that sounded like a cowboy song. And I think it was me who said, "Let's write a cheating song," and Tom said, "No, I don't want to write a cheating song." I said, "Well, how about if it's not the kind of cheating that?" I mean, that's a song that I can't believe hasn't been written. It has now, of course.
I mean, you're talking about a bad cigar, Taco Bell.
Yeah, well, and there's the homage. There's several homages on this album. One, my favorite is in Every Monday at 2, the homage to George Jones rhyming year with idea,
Yeah. I like
which
that.
he did that. He did that. And this it's the spoken. I know I was unfaithful
Hmm.
at our local Taco Bell.
Hmm.
So
I love it. I love it. You guys, you guys are pros when, you get these big acts today and they'll do an EP and that's all they can do. And you just spit out 14 tracks like it's no big deal. That's because you're just, full of music. It's great. Full of
Well,
music and ideas.
there are 52 Mondays in the year.
Yeah.
yeah, we've got literally hundreds. I mean, it's 4 years.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
we we've got enough for another album.
Good.
And it's just it's a wonderful problem to have too much good. I mean, I remember going out on tour thinking, golly, I'm going out to this and this and this and this place, and I played there a year ago. What have I got that's new? Now it's, shut up already. We want to hear the old ones.
Right. Right. Actually, I want to hear the new ones because they're
Yeah,
great.
yeah. There's, but you know, if spring, I went and saw Paul McCartney recently,
Right.
and he didn't do Yesterday,
Oh man, that's like
and I
a
thought, what? What?
signature track.
That's like Springsteen not doing Born to Run,
Right.
or Tom Paxton not doing Last Thing on My Mind,
Right.
or John McCutcheon not doing. I can't think of a song.
Christmas in the trenches.
Yeah.
There you go. That's true. I'm surprised. I
But
think he
yeah,
came
I
out
mean,
with. Did he start with "Help"? Was that his
yeah,
opening? Yeah, which is different.
yeah, because Lennon sang that, and
I
that was
know.
really a John Lennon song.
Yeah, my
It,
favorite was Lennon. I thought Lennon was the voice of the Beatles, in my opinion. You know.
well, you know that Tom, did you see the Apple Music series on the Beatles called Get Back? It was like
Yes.
and my wife was bored to tears,
Mm-hmm.
but as a studio rat and as a songwriter, I was riveted
Yeah,
the
me
Right.
too.
the
Yeah.
whole time. And you're watching McCartney trying to get what was he Let It Be or Hey Jude or something, and he can't, and going, no, no, that's not the word, Paul, that's not the word. But at least in that series it was clear that Paul had the reins.
Mm-hmm.
John had Yoko and
Right.
Horse.
That's true.
There
And
was a
then,
scene
yeah.
in there that I remember vividly. The three of them, it was not a riveting scene or anything like that, but the four of them were sitting in a circle working
Right.
on some song, and John had his white guitar, and somebody off camera said something that pleased John, and he had the most beatific smile on his face. He actually looked happy, and I don't think he looked happy very
He
much,
didn't.
very often,
No.
but he had a happy smile on his face, and that was great.
That's unusual for John.
Well, and what was interesting to me too is how very different Lennon and McCartney are,
They are. Yeah.
and yet, um, what a catalog of songs.
Yeah. And they wrote them
Yeah.
quick. They wrote them very quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sort of like two guys get together every Monday at 2 and tell jokes and talk about sports, and about
Right.
halfway through saying, "Oh, maybe we ought to write a song."
Well, it's a lot like you guys.
Yeah.
The truth. You guys,
Well,
who knows what would have happened if you guys started many years ago,
oh, oh,
right?
think of all the jokes we both know. Well, and and we were talking a little while ago about how we love talking sports. There's sports stuff on each of these albums,
Hmm.
and how there's almost none of our pals in this trade that we can talk sports to. So
Oh,
we wrote a We wrote a song called "I'm Woke Until the Weekend."
Hmm. I forgot. Let's see who likes who in baseball. There's a Cub fan, right? You're,
Well,
who's a Cub fan? John?
I was a Cub fan
No.
as a kid.
Okay.
My first 10 years, I lived in Chicago.
All right.
We lived on the South Side, and for some reason, my family were Cubs fans.
Hmm.
I never had a chance to learn why.
You lived in
But
occupied territory.
now I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and our team is the Nationals,
Right.
whom I call the Regionals.
And I live in the Atlanta area.
Right.
The Braves are my team.
The Braves.
And ironically, I grew up in Wisconsin, where the Braves were my team
Oh, wow. Really?
when they were in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Well, I'm an Oriole fan.
Did you follow them or did they follow you?
Well, I followed them until they left at age 13,
Yeah.
and it made every romantic disappointment of my life a piece of cake. And then 40 years later, in the kind of irony that only lives in baseball, I find myself living 20 minutes from the Braves Stadium.
Mm.
And I decided 4 decades was long enough to withhold forgiveness.
You know, in my opinion, I think Henry Aaron is the greatest home run hitter
Oh.
ever.
Cameron Hank, yeah.
You know, I really do.
You know, the first year I was there, I'd never lived in a town with a team.
Hmm.
And here was the team I grew up with. So I go down and I'm playing every day. I'm going almost every day in this. And I'm the kind of nerd that keeps score. So I would buy my scorecard and get my
Right.
little pencil from
That's
the
fun.
same African American woman. And
Right.
finally she says, "You come here a lot. Do you have season tickets?" I said, "No." She said, "You ought to talk to my son. He's selling season tickets." So I got season tickets, and you can move them around. And so on my birthday, I took 14 of my friends, and we had great seats.
Hmm.
First base line, 9 rows back, right at the bag. And I said, "I will give you a free ticket to come to this game. It's the Braves versus the Giants, provided that with me you will stand up and turn your back when Barry Bonds comes up to you." And we all did.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny how you can show me a picture or a baseball card from the 60s or the early 70s, and I can tell you exactly who that is because I was so into my baseball cards
Mhm.
back when I was a kid, you know? And I loved every team. You know, everybody had a star back then, you know, and a pitching star, a hitting star. Tom, do you go to the national games?
Yes,
Yeah.
at least once a year.
Okay.
It's I find myself sitting there saying, "My God, this is Major League Baseball."
Yep.
You know, I grew up in Oklahoma. We were the nearest team was the St. Louis,
Right.
and it still gives me a thrill being in a Major League ballpark
Yeah.
You remember the
with a
first
lousy
time?
team.
But they did win a championship finally.
They
you
did,
know?
and then of course the management sold off everybody who
I know.
played well.
They always do that, you know. I used to go to the Senator games.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. I remember Bat Day and Frank Howard, and
Jim
Dick
Cobb,
Bosman, Eddie Brickman. Yeah.
Harmon Killebrew. Was he
Carmen
there?
Killebrew, that's way back. Yeah.
I love minor league baseball.
Yeah.
And
There's a farm team in Frederick, Maryland.
Right.
It's a farm team, I think, of the Orioles. I can't remember,
I think so.
but
Yeah.
my daughter used to live near Frederick, and we went, and it was such fun.
Yep.
And those people, you know, the kids they're busting their butts. They want to go to the show, you know.
That's right.
my my wife was working in Des Moines
Hmm.
once, and I flew up there with her because I wanted to see the Des Moines Cubs, which is the Cubs AAA team.
Right.
And it had been a long time since I'd been to a minor league game. And it's a circus in between every half inning.
I know.
There's something, and the day we were there, some genius thought, oh, we'll give away hot dogs.
Hmm.
And how will we give them away? We'll put them in the t-shirt shooters.
Oh no.
And they wrapped them in aluminum foil, shot them out, and the entire crowd was covered by pig parts.
At least they didn't put mustard on it.
Yeah.
They put a little
I'm-
mustard on that.
And the dirtiest car in the parking lot contest.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's funny. I was in, I think I went to a meeting in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I saw that minor league team. That was fun. You're right, though. They have a lot of stuff going on all the time, free
you can
stuff and
You can get great seats
great seats.
for
Yeah.
$10.
Yep. I think I bought a game used bat. Yeah, I gave it to my son. It's cheap.
Not a mark on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the saddest thing I ever heard. Not a mark on it.
Oh my God.
Not even a foul.
Wouldn't you like to go to the Field of Dreams field in Iowa?
I have gone there.
You have gone there, huh?
And it's, it's just so emotional to be
It's
there.
surreal. Yeah.
I'll tell you, you won't believe this. I saw the movie on TV last year
Hmm.
for the first time.
Really?
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I
I
know.
I never saw it until last year.
And
And of course I cried.
of course,
The only movie that makes men cry, right?
Yeah.
I defy when he says, "Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch?"
I know. I know. It's just you can't help it.
You gotta have. If you have a pulse and a penis, that's the line. I used to
You
make
can't
my
help it.
sons watch it with me on Father's Day every year,
Oh,
and then
Oh.
they go, "Oh, here comes."
here it comes.
Here it comes.
Or,
They're going, Dad. That's awesome. You guys are very historic too. I'm not talking about your age. I'm talking about your lyrics. Um, Rebel Gal. You always have a song like that. You got to do the research and find out what the song's really about. It talks about World War II. And Rebel Gal is actually a B-24, I think, right? It's a bomber?
B-17.
Oh, B-17. Okay.
It had a crew of 10,
Right.
and the pilots were average something like 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing at 22? Were you flying over Berlin getting shot out of the sky
Right.
as these kids were? 22 years old, flying a 4-engine bomber.
I can't even imagine. Just being up there flying the plane.
And it mentioned at one point, just in passing in the lyric, that the blood froze because it was so cold,
Mm-hmm.
and that's blood that was spilled by the crew who got hit with the Messerschmitts, and
Right.
it was a horror story.
Mm.
What they went through, and they had to fly 30 missions, which was statistically unlikely
30 missions. Wow.
to get to come home.
Mm. That doesn't seem fair, does it?
No.
well, it was
I'll
also-
tell you a funny thing about that song is that I wrote the chorus about 50 years ago.
Really?
I was in Dayton, Ohio, which is an aviation town,
Right.
Just where the Wright brothers are from.
Sure.
And they, in my hotel, they were having a convention, a reunion of U.S. 8th Army flyers. And in the elevator up to my room, the chorus just flashed into my mind.
Hmm.
And I wrote it down. It's just 4 lines. And never finished the song until we started working on this album. And I said, I've got to finish this song. This belongs on this album.
And it was
Yeah, how many songwriters do this nowadays?
Well,
They pick some, an event in history and write about it,
well, we have a lot of good young songwriters out there. I don't want to get on their case.
Right.
Yeah, they're turning out some wonderful music. So,
Can you name somebody that you're kind of into?
well, I'm working with a couple of young people that you really should hear.
Okay.
Jackson Emmer is one. He's writing some beautiful songs, and we're working together when he's able to. He travels a lot right
Okay.
now.
I'll look them up.
And of course, Tim O'Brien is extremely well known. He's not old, but he's not young.
Mhm.
And then let me see who else. John.
Well, I have written regularly with, and Tom and I have written 2 or 3 songs with Carrie Newcomer.
Oh yeah.
She's a wonderful writer from Bloomington, and there's a fellow named Trent Wagler who's the front man for a band called the Steel Wheels, and we've been writing some really interesting songs. There's a woman from England, Zoe Mulford, who is I've written. When I look back at our catalog, I think, oh my goodness, there's a lot of really good songs. So and then you got people who are more well known. I think Jason Isbell
Right.
is a really gifted writer that tackles a lot of stuff that a lot of writers don't.
I don't.
And,
Yeah.
and that's what's interesting to me is what kind of subjects people are tackling. I mean, we're guys who appreciate history, so
Mhm.
and Tom has an encyclopedic knowledge about World War II.
Hmm.
You were what, 7 when it started, Tom?
No, I was 7 when it ended,
When it ended.
and
Okay.
I've been obsessed with it. I started reading about it when I was about 12, and I still read voluminously about it.
My son-in-law is a English teacher, and he's like you. He's very much into World War II. He even went to a lot of the reenactments, World War II reenactments. Yep. I talked to a lot of artists that had interesting stories. Petula Clark, she was in the Blitz, you know,
Mm.
part of the Blitz, and she was young, very little, and she sang while she was, taking cover in the air raid shelters. John Kay from Steppenwolf, he ran across the Iron Curtain and escaped, him and his family
Yes,
from Germany.
he told me that story.
Did he?
Fascinating.
It's incredible,
They had guys that were like, what do they call them? Coyotes.
Right, right.
That would get you from east to west.
Exactly. And I think he ended up in Canada after that, or
Yep.
something like that. Yeah. And we know about Gene Simmons, Nazi camp. He's from Israel, and I think his grandmother died, got killed at a concentration camp, and his mother was spared because she was a beautician. She knew how to do hair. So
Well,
yeah,
that's
interesting. You got to dive deeper into these interviews to find out about.
they
Yeah.
need to use that as a prep, to get people into the beauty schools.
Right.
You might just
It's
doing
second
hair
one.
might save your life someday, so you better learn
That's
how to do it.
That's true. If the communists ever take over and Russians or something, unbelievable. I love the album, like I said, I really do.
Thank you.
The Sergeant O'Reilly was also interesting. Kind of Irish singing,
A little bit.
a little bit, yeah. I like that one.
Well, it was
Talk about Sergeant O'Reilly. Is that somebody in history or?
No, every year about this time we start experimenting with Christmas themed songs.
Mm-hmm.
We have had one on the last album called Christmas in the Desert. We wrote one about a shepherd coming home and trying to explain to his wife why he was out all night. Oh yeah, angels, right. And kings.
That's funny.
Okay,
I like
perfect.
that.
Yeah.
And Sergeant O'Reilly just came out in one of those sessions, and it kind of felt, I don't know if you remember, Tom, but it kind of felt like it almost wrote itself.
Yeah. Well,
Sounds like
I'll indulge in name dropping for a minute. Back in the day, Bob Dylan and I were walking up Sixth Avenue in New York, talking about songwriting, and he mentioned something, and he was really talking for me. He said, "I sometimes feel like I'm not writing a song so much as I'm writing it down.
Yep.
It's like taking dictation."
That's a good thing. Yeah.
And that does happen.
Mm-hmm.
And O'Reilly was perhaps not as sublime as Bob Dylan's writing, but it came directly to us from a source.
Well, and one of the things I think that makes our writing together work is that we're both really willing to surrender to the song itself.
Okay.
It's that may sound kind of woo woo, and believe me, neither one of us is woo woo.
That's your next song. Woo woo.
Woo woo.
There's a song, woo 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 nut.
Well, that'll be the B side of "I'm woke all week till until the weekend." But you know, when you all of a sudden discover that a character in your song is being disobedient,
Mhm.
you know, when you plan that this character is going to turn left, and he says, "No, fuck you, I'm turning right."
Right, right.
You know, when your characters are not little avatars of you,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that comes out of their mouth are your words. You know, when you give them their own life, and you sort of fall into the story, and you don't really know where it's going to go. That happens to us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, I ran away with the circus. All of a sudden, you know, everything changed in an instant. December 1941, it was like, whoa, I
Yeah.
didn't know that was coming.
Yeah.
And then he discovers the circus in Italy after war's end. And we had no idea.
Yeah, but you guys have fun with it. It doesn't seem like it's work to you guys.
Listen,
You know?
Trust me.
But we just wrote a song called "This Ain't Working."
This ain't work.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it called playing music?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Supposed to be fun.
well, I mean, one of the great things I've learned from Tom is that it is fun.
Mm-hmm.
It should be fun. I mean, we used to play golf together, and neither one of us was very good. And it bothered me, but it didn't bother Tom. So I
Right.
thought, oh,
Right.
okay, I got to learn from this.
Yeah. That's a frustrating game too. It
Oh, it's
could
an
bother
impossible.
you easily.
It's an impossible game.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to get good at it,
Forget it. You can be good one week and fall apart the next, you know? That's the problem.
Or one hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, one hole, right. Par 10? What the hell
Yeah.
happened to me?
You go down onto the next tee thinking, aha,
Yeah.
I've got it now.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's like Robin Williams. I mean, of Robin and Linda Williams.
Yeah.
I used to play golf with them when I lived in Virginia, and
Uh-huh.
he would have some kind of a great hole, and he'd say, "Golf is easy."
Yeah, right. Sure.
Well, I had to give up golf for something less addictive,
Okay. What's that?
heroin.
Heroin.
What?
I had to give up golf for something less addictive, like heroin.
Heroin.
Right. Yeah.
I got to tell you, though, I admire both of you guys.
We
And
played once. Tom calls me up, and I lived in Charlottesville. He lives up in the D.C. area. He says,
Right.
"John, there's a new links course
Mhm.
out in Manassas.
Right.
Let's meet there." And so we met there, and it was about this time of year. And we got to the first tee box, and we found that we had to drive our tees in with our drivers. And when we hit the first green, I thought, "Oh, this is great!" And the ball bounced like it was on concrete.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
I like, you ever play at is it a Pete Dye course?
No.
The strangest course I've ever played in my life. And, it's like a big putt-putt golf. Only, it's crazy. But yeah, I play golf as well, and it's frustrating as hell. I used to have to. I worked in the bank for a long time, for a long, long time, and they made you play golf with the clients and stuff like that. So the fun part was doing best ball because you couldn't
Oh
look
yeah,
like an
yeah.
idiot.
Right. Well, there's a golf course not far from here that's no longer open, and the 15th hole was a par four,
Hmm.
and you hit your drive, your tee shot with an iron, and your second shot you hit into this gorge.
Oh my gosh.
In the gorge, they had an area that was planted in green, and you got there, and from there you hit back up
Oh jeez.
onto the green. And I came back in the pro shop at the end. I said, the only thing wrong with 15 is it should have a windmill in the
Yeah,
middle of, with a door that you hit the ball through.
I know.
Jeez.
Yeah, if you ever saw Caddyshack, you'd understand.
Yeah. Oh, I hated that hole.
Oh man. What was the yards on that par four? What was the
It
yardage?
wasn't that long. It
No,
wasn't, length was never a problem there. It's
right.
just you had to hit down in the canyon and then back up
And
out
then
of the
back
canyon.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you get on that hole?
Oh, start counting now.
Yeah, it could be a fun game sometimes, though. The main thing is to get out there with a bunch of guys,
Oh, yeah.
smoke your cigar, have a beer, just enjoy it. And
John used to always bring a flask with him.
Oh, good.
He had the guitar too, but he'd have the little flask as well.
What was in it?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Probably single malt,
Single malt.
Single malt.
because God invented them both on the same day.
Right, right.
He said, "Here's a cigar. Now I want the liquid version of this." Boom.
We were so lucky. We got season tickets to the Redskins for years because we used to live in Andrews Air Force Base near in Camp Springs. You know where that is?
Sure.
And the whole neighborhood where they're all colonels and Air Force because of the base. So all my friends were Air Force, Air Force families. So Colonel Miller, right across the street, had extra season tickets. So he always invited us, to all the home games. And
Nice.
they used to bring a flask and we used to pass it around because, football games got cold. Good old RFK Stadium, which they just tore down.
And they're going to make way for Trump Stadium, aren't they?
Is that what they're naming it? Trump Stadium? He puts his name on everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does. On his jail cell.
No narcissism there. They're all narcissists, though, all the guys with money. Of course, that's how they made their money, I guess. Anyway, we're back to the album again, which I love. The Future was interesting. I saw The Future yesterday on a small town Kansas stage. Talk about that one.
Well, that was my line.
Mm-hmm.
I attend this festival in Winfield, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on their bill every year for over 40 years. They have no imagination at all. And I have, in the course of those years, seen all kinds of kids,
Mm-hmm.
because they have all these competitions: fiddle, flat top, flat pick guitar, banjo, hammer dulcimer, for heaven's sakes.
Right.
Um, and so I remember seeing Alison Krauss as a 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I probably wrote that line after seeing Molly Tuttle
Okay.
for the first time, and she was in her early 20s. Nickel Creek, Chris
Yeah.
Thiele.
Remember Nickel Creek?
I remember being there with Nickel Creek in like 2000
Mm-hmm.
and invited them to come up, and we were just jamming backstage. I said, "Come on up, play something with me." And they went, "Oh, really? Can we, please?" And I just thought, "Oh, that's so cute. You don't even know. You don't even know." So, we've seen, Tom more than I over the years has seen young people come in and
Right.
realize, oh, they're going to be around for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
You just
And
know it. Yeah.
but but it's also not only about the future, it's about, the second verse talks about remembering when you were that young
That's right.
and you
Yeah.
were new, and how did you learn how to do this? And the third verse is, man, I made the best friends ever. And I think Tom came up with the line, finest bunch of reprobates that I have ever met.
That sounds like Tom.
And well, God, he knew Van Ronk and all these people back in the day that,
Mm.
and it was much more, Tom should talk about it, but the whole Greenwich Village scene
Oh
was
yeah. Yeah.
so fraternal. And
I've talked to a lot of guys that started there. I know Maria Moldauer is one of them. She's been on
Oh,
the
yeah.
show a bunch of times.
I
She's cool.
remember seeing John Gorka for the
Mhm.
first time and saying, "Holy
Mhm.
smoke, do I like this guy?"
Yeah.
yeah. And there's, you know, and then there's that point in the bridge of that song where, we live in lives we think will never end.
Right.
Walk in the steps of those who've gone before. And we feel the press of time and then extend a hand to those we never knew that we were waiting for.
That's poetic.
Yeah.
It's that link, that point of linkage, and you can resist it.
Mm-hmm.
These days, I go to festivals and I don't know 2/3 of the names on the bill.
I know. Me too. Me
And I
too.
used to know everybody on the bill. It was
Yeah.
that was our convention.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
that's where you saw and made your friends. And we, musicians make friends in the most
Mm-hmm.
accelerated ways.
Mm-hmm.
You meet somebody, you hang with them for a weekend, and suddenly they're part of your inner circle.
Yeah.
You go home and you explain that to your wife, and they say,
Yep.
"That's not how it works."
I
You say,
Sure
"Well,
it is.
with us, it does."
had this guy. You know John McCutcheon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Oh,
We
no,
talked-
wait a minute. No, I don't know him.
No.
I've never met him.
From Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never met
And-
John McCutcheon?
And I never met Gordon Lightfoot in
Oh man.
all these years. We were in
Really?
the same town on the same night,
That's crazy.
and I never met him.
John McCutcheon's cool because his best friend is Steve Martin.
Well, McCune and I used to wanted to meet one another for years because we would get confused. I mean,
Right.
people would confuse us just because of our names.
Right.
And they played a
Right.
bunch of instruments, and so
Yeah.
finally, I met him at Folk Alliance one year,
Mm-hmm.
and we took a little video. And he said, "Hi, I'm John McCutcheon." And I said, "Hi, I'm
That's
John
funny.
McCune."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and we text back and forth now.
Yeah.
But,
He plays over here every once in a while, by himself, solo.
yeah.
Yeah. Who are the guys that you hung out with? Big famous guys, both of you. Who was your good friends that were pretty big in the business?
Well,
Tom
I
Paxton.
was roommates with Noel Paul Stilkey and Peter Yarrow, and I also knew Peter Yarrow and
Oh, Peter
Mary
Yarrow.
Jones.
Yeah.
And Peter used to come over to the flat that I was sharing with Noel Stilkey,
Mm-hmm.
and they worked obsessively on the guitars for the Peter, Paul, and Mary songs.
Yeah.
So we were great friends. Noel and I are friends to this day.
Hmm.
And then Dave Van Ronk was a great pal of mine. I would say they were my best friends from those years.
Hmm. How about you, John?
Well, you know, Mary Chapin Carpenter and I
Right.
recorded in the same studio, used a lot of the same musicians, and would have lunch together. And when I lived in Charlottesville, I knew the Dave Matthews Band
Really?
way before they were the Dave. Dave and I met at the Quaker Meeting House there
Hmm.
because he was from South Africa and his family emigrated because there's no
Right.
CO status in the South African Defense Forces,
Interesting.
and that was during apartheid.
Hmm.
So he ended up, and we realized we had a mutual love of Southern African music, and we went and saw Johnny Clegg and Savuka in this little club, and we're in the front just going wild.
Hmm.
And he called me like 3 days later, said, "Can you hear this?"
How close were you to Pete Seeger?
I loved him.
Hmm.
We were both
Um,
friends.
yeah,
He was our mentor.
Yeah, he's a lot of people's mentor.
Well, the song Pathfinder,
Yeah,
this album is about him.
right,
That you know, and it's true. You know, he did not go for glory,
right,
uh, and where he did not find a path, where he did not find a path, he left a trail.
hmm
You know, I don't even know what the world of American folk music would be like right now.
nothing like it is.
Was he like the godfather, you think, of folk music?
No question.
Yeah,
He was the North Star.
right,
Yeah.
I mean, he thought about how to involve people. And God, his concerts were sing-alongs.
yeah,
Who does that?
right,
Well,
Nobody really.
as the song says, he formed a choir every night.
hmm
Because he was in the wrong line of work. He was a really shy man.
Really?
He
I didn't know that.
eschewed fame because he didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
And that's not what he,
Mm.
you know, when Woody Guthrie takes you under his wing,
Mm.
you are not prepared for how to deal with fame.
Not too many people can say they knew those guys, not anymore. It's so cool. The
Well, every now and
Pat-
again, I remember when Pete died, I thought, I've never lived in a world without Pete Seeger.
yeah, he was pretty old too. He lived to 90 something, right?
94. He was
94, yeah.
And you know, God, we got to hear Aretha Franklin
Mm-hmm.
live. We got to hear Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
We got to hear Gene Ritchie.
Yep.
You know, wow. We got to hear Tom Paxton.
Oh,
Oh, that guy's great.
Oh,
He's better than Jimi Hendrix.
he's more present than Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. Tom's been around, man. I mean, growing up in DC myself, he's always around, it was a constant, you can't pick up the paper without seeing Tom Paxton playing somewhere in DC,
I like to say that this may be my first rodeo, but I've been in the circus for 64 years.
I know. 64 years. Wow.
Yeah.
But
That's a long time.
yeah, but your resume, all the books you've written as well. I'm an author, I got a new book out. It's my fourth. But I admire that, man. Both of you. You've written a book too, right, John?
I've written a number of children's picture books based on
That's
my-
awesome.
And I live with my wife is an author, and I know it's way easier to make a CD
Mm-hmm.
than to write a book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's way easier.
A lot of fun, too.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let me show you my I've got a little plug here. Here's my new book. I don't know if you can see it.
Let's see it.
The Liberty Code.
What's the Liberty Code?
It's a kind of a sci-fi book.
Oh, okay.
And the bad government has taken over the United States, and
No.
What? Where did you get that
and the
idea?
aliens help us get it back. Good aliens. I'm all
There
about
you
good aliens.
God, we need them now.
Well, it could be. I
He's
mean,
trying to get
there's.
rid of all the aliens.
Oh man.
Well, listen, Ray, I hate to pull it short, but my wife and I are leaving on a trip tomorrow.
Oh, good for you. Where are you going?
We are taking a train across Canada.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah, and she just pulled in the driveway,
Okay.
so I need to go and kiss her face.
Okay. I just want to mention you can purchase the new album. Okay. It's Together Again. Should they go to Bandcamp now, or where is it going to be available?
Yeah, Bandcamp for sure.
Okay.
Or folkmusic.com,
Okay. And I'm sure it'll be on Amazon and all the rest of the areas.
but not till January.
Not till January. That's right.
January 9th, I think.
This is kind of a secretive thing right now because you don't really see it. Yeah. You don't see it on your website
All
yet.
our albums are secret.
But they're great albums, and I love them. Thank you guys for being on the show, man. It's always a pleasure to see you. Happy holidays. My best to your
Same to
families.
you.
Okay.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.